YouTube, how's it going? So before I spoke to you guys last, we were just waiting for E3. It was 6 hours to go. We didn't know what was going to be released, and a lot of us thought that it'd be a lot of information released. That wasn't the case. As you all know by now, Halo Infinite was announced, and on some previous videos, you guys have been asking for my opinions, and I'll get to that in a second. But by the time of this video, you can probably tell the overall reception to the announcement trailer or the introduction of the new Slipspace engine was really positive. I mean, I haven't seen, I'm going to link Spiteful's video in it, but if you just watch every content creator that live streamed the event and saw the trailer live, they're like, oh my god, or they're just doing pug champs, like everyone is just so excited. And that's partially because we had no information about anything, so anything is kind of welcoming. And we were kind of on a dry streak for so long to actually get something like, oh my god! But yeah, it was hugely received positively, which is something that hasn't happened in a very long time. Like, we've had a couple hiccups before Halo 5 came out, and then Halo 5 was kind of incomplete, so everyone's just like, eh, and then they didn't really agree with the movement, the Spartan abilities, but I guess we haven't found out much about the game yet. I've seen some people that are pretty critical and they're pretty hesitant to like it. But for the most part, I have not seen the Halo community this united since, well, for a very long time, because even going back to when Halo 3 was released, no one liked Halo 3 at the time because Halo 2 and Halo 3 are very different games. And you had Halo Reach, no one liked the Bloom, no one liked the Armorlock. Then you had Halo 4 and no one liked any of the competitive settings because it was kind of catered for BTB and it was extremely casual. Then MCC, well, I'm not going to go into MCC because of how bad it was. And then Halo 5. Halo 5 was pretty hyped up. And as I said, it was largely successful. Warzone kind of carried it and brought a lot of new people into it. The HCS seasons were very successful as well. Had like 110,000 viewers for the first HWC live final, which could have been way more than that. But I really haven't seen the community this excited for a very long time. Of course, you can tell the art style, it's gone back to the pre-Halo 4, Halo 5 days, which is a good thing. I mean, I prefer the old art style just because I prefer classic Halo games, but there's nothing wrong with 4 or 5 if you prefer that. It'll be very interesting to see how many armor concepts go into the new game. Are they going to incorporate all these old designs into the next generation of rec packs, or however they decide to handle that? What's the game going to play like on the new Slipspace engine? Well, it looked really smooth. Like, I understand that it was just the trailer just to showcase the quality of how, because it looks very smooth. It's been dissected to a art form, this new trailer. I mean, people think that the flood's coming back because the glyphs on the wall say enemy within. I haven't seen the community this excited in a while, but I just want you guys to keep in mind that we know nothing about the game so far. I love that the trailer goes back to Halo 1's roots, because that's probably like one of my favorite all-time trailers, one of the very first announcement trailers, and you have the Marines running to this foreigner structure that the Covenant are hiding in, like this bunch of elites. But you actually see the wildlife roaming around as the Marines are running through, and to me that's just like what I wanted Halo to be. Like, I really feel like it didn't touch on enough of the ring worlds on Halo are like real life ecosystems. Like, there's birds, there's animals, it's not just a war zone where you fight and it looks pretty. Reach touched on this a little bit because they had the mowers and they had these like really big creatures in the Nightfall mission. I forget what the name is, but aside from that, and probably the construct little sentinels and the birds on Guardian, there wasn't really much wildlife incorporated into any of the Halo games. And I really feel like that's something that's missed the mark, because like even on Halo 3, you're in Africa, there would be tons of animals, especially where you were situated, that could have been incorporated. Sure, they could have been very small, but it's just something. And then with the flood landing, then you could have incorporated that as well. Just extra little things here and there that I really would think would elevate the next game if 343 wanted to take that path, because as we all know from Awakening the Nightmare, the flood is released again, so that could be an avenue they take. Oh, the flood's released on this new Halo ring. oh, the flood's infected because it needs to create biomass and take the biomass, so it's infecting all of the animals. And the larger animals they actually want to use as fighting animals. And it just feels like something that, because I know with Gears of War, the Horde, or the Swarm that they're called now, they've really evolved and they haven't regressed at all. And that'd be a really cool thing to see with the Flood, just see their progression, because I liked the idea of having different sort of Flood forms, and the ones that can kind of metamorphosize themselves, and depending on where they're going to attack and how they're going to attack. Just stuff like that, because I feel like the Knights are pretty boring enemies at the moment, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether they put the Covenant back to the old art style as well as the Spartans, so time will tell. But overall, my opinion is hugely positive. I love that they're taking their time, because it kind of is like hit or miss with right now. If the next game flops, it will kind of kill the whole franchise as a whole. But they're taking their time. They've listened to a lot of the feedback that not only the competitive people have said, the new HCS season, so they'll be listening to us in that regard. And you got a lot of the lore people that have kind of voiced their opinions on what they want to see with the next Halo game. And it's a collective effort. And 343 obviously wants Halo to do well, so you can kind of expect the next game to do well. And if they're listening to us, especially with the MCC feedback program, you can see them listening to us. I think Halo's in a really good spot. And sure, it's going to be very, very hard, especially as a content creator, making content until probably October 2019. I'm not sure how I'm going to reach that date, because it's a very long way away. But when the game does announce, I really think it's going to be very, very good for the community, and I think it's going to thrive a lot. Finally, I just wanted to touch on the beta that I feel like will come out probably early 2019, with the full game potentially releasing late 2019 to early 2020. You'd expect, like, since there's only been a trailer shown, there don't have any gameplay to show at this point, that the game's relatively, probably not even in alpha stage yet, so you can't really expect it. It's definitely not going to release this year. There's no way that Halo 6 or Halo Infinite is going to release this year. Next year, maybe, if we're lucky, and I just hope it is, because I've spoken to a lot of content creators and they're just like, wow, Halo 5 is not going to last that long. Hopefully MCC can bridge the gap. And also with the Halo World Championship Series, none of the pros want to play Halo 5 now, and I saw in a poll that Moses did, which I'm happy to link for you guys, the 3 options were Halo 3, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Halo 5. And Halo 2 Anniversary had more votes than Halo 5, and that's not good. So it'll be very interesting to see how the competitive community kind of bridges that gap as well. 343 stated they'd love to do some throwback legacy tournaments, especially for Halo 3. Just really get the voice out there that MCC's fixed now, so anyone who does like the classic Halo games, come back and play them. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very excited to see what happens, and I'll be covering everything as it comes out, because I'm sure new information will trickle here and there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of Halo Infinite, and yeah, see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.